So, what's your favorite scary movie franchise? See, in these movies, the unmasking usually comes at the end. It's kind of a thing. It's a trope. It's something we do. Today we're talking about Scream 6. I'm going to review it. I'm going to have a spoiler section as well, so we're going to look at that. And right at the end of it, once you skip the spoiler section, you'll see me rank all 6 Scream films right here. And I'm going to include the TV shows and the Netflix film as well. Welcome to the cult of cinema. Much like in Scream 2, we leave Woodsboro again. But this time we're leaving Woodsboro for New York City. It is a different Scream film. This isn't basically doing Scream 2 over again. It's doing its own thing. In this one here, we follow up the sisters once again. The core 4 basically, which includes Sam Carpenter, Tara, Mindy, and Chad. So we have the Meeks siblings, and we have Tara, and we have Samantha back again, and prepare for the goriest Scream movie that you have ever seen, because this one really heaps on the blood and has some nice cringe-inducing parts for which is something that you do when you kind of up the gore in a post-Terrifier world, much in the same way that when Halloween 2 came out, it had upped their gore and changed a little bit of the way that they did things in a post-Friday the 13th world. This is a fun little film. In this one here, we have the killer letting you know pretty much right away that yes, they are targeting Sam. I'm going to say, and this is going to stick spoiler free in this portion, did I guess the killer? Immediately. I immediately guessed the killer. Did it make it any less fun? No. I think at this point in the Scream franchise, the killer's not exactly the hardest to guess. It's the ride that you take along the way. If the ride's really good, it makes it worthwhile. One of the reasons I'm not as big on Scream 3 as some people are, my oldest daughter loves Scream 3, is that the killer in Scream 3 doesn't really get enough screen time to kind of like to warrant them. Like warrant the reveal being big, and so they just pile it on heavy at the end. This is kind of done here in a weird way, but not the way you think. So that's the that would be like, say, if I was to say there's one issue about the film, is that the killer or killers overall don't have do Roman Bridger in the way that there's not a ton of screen, or Timothy Olyphant, that there's not a ton of screen time to work out who the killers are. But much like in a lot of the Scream films, this is what happens: is that we get the kind of the explanation at the end. We get the James Bond villain moment where the killer will wax poetic about why they're doing this and how it got to this situation. It's just certain things in this film make it really really easy, at least for me, to figure out who the killer is. We got a great cast here overall, and I got my cheat sheet here so I don't miss anybody's names out. So we have Melissa Barrera back, we have Jen Ortega back, Jasmine Savai Brown is back, Mason Gooding is back, Skeet Ulrich, that's not a, has like kind of a flashy type scene, kind of a talk to the Sam type of scene. We've seen this before. Of course, Roger Jackson's back. We get, when it comes to the new cast, we get Dermot Mulroney on this one, Jack Champion, Josh Segarra is in this film. I really like that actor, so I'll get into that a little bit more. Liana Liberto is in this one. We get Devin Nakota. Hayden Pantera makes a triumphant return in this one right here. Opening of the movie, we get Samara Weaving, and for those that maybe don't watch a lot of these type of films, Samara Weaving actually acted with Jen Ortega before in the Babysitter sequel. So if you watch the McGee Babysitter film that came on, I think it was Killer Queen was the name of the second one. So they act together in that. She was in that one with Samara Weaving. It is a great cast. Henry Czerny has a small but kind of integral role within this film. And if you are a lover of Easter eggs from the Scream franchise, from horror movies in general, the setting of this one, New York, around kind of looks to be like around Halloween time. People are all dressed up in masks and stuff. There are so many Easter eggs through this one here. From like little winks and nods to like earlier Wes Craven films, from Last House on the Left to Shocker. There's just too many to go over and point them out. But I'm sure there's going to be a Screen Crush or Scream Review right there that has done that exact thing. And I'll be looking for that one afterwards. See, this movie I'm still waiting to get in a physical format. I bought the digital version of this film because where I live, we don't have the physical version out. And I am waiting to get back to Canada so I can get it. Am I going to buy this one? 1,000,000% yes. I'm going to buy Scream 6. And I don't think I've got Scream 5 yet either. Because I watched that one digitally. Because at the time, I didn't have the chance to get it. But I definitely want to get both of those when I get back to Canada. So those are two of the first things that I'm going to be searching out. At this point, the basic plot structure is this: that the killer is much more brutal in this one, much more relentless. The killer doesn't just super hide. The killer is there. The chases him on the street right away, goes into this corner store, into this corner market, and comes in there where we see the infamous in the trailer the gun scene. This killer isn't playing too much. This killer really wants to get the job done. So that's a bit different, and that brings up another question that we're going to have to talk about in the spoiler section, and much in the same way that Scream One did. So we'll get to that right now. So without further ado, if you haven't been spot on this, if you've never seen this movie, please don't watch the spoilery section of this. I'll put a little timestamp down below, or I'll put a little notification so that you know that you can come back for the ranking portion of the video. But there's so much to get into when it comes to spoilers here. All right, so has everybody that has not seen the movie left the room? Good, because you don't want this run for you. Although I'll tell you right now, this was the easiest one to guess. As much as people look at the last one and say, well, the last one was really easy to guess, really easy to figure out. Radio Silence are great at constructing a film. They are not particularly great at the mystery portion of this. So let's dive into who the killers are right away. For the first time in the Scream franchise that we know of, we have 3 killers. If we go retroactively, then maybe in Scream 1, with the whole Roman and Bridger coming in and speaking, with Billy and Stu, you kind of have 3 killers in part 1 that way. So you get kind of a balance there. But no, this is the first time we actually see 3 killers on the screen at the same time. And it's really, really obvious. We start out seeing Samantha's room. Is it Samantha's or Tara's roommate? I think it's Tara's roommate. Yeah. So it's Tara's roommate. Comes out, redhead. She's played by really well done, Baliana Liberto, and she comes out and she's hooking up the guy that we don't see. He's off screen. There's a reference made early on to her father, who's a police officer. And we find out, that he's been kind of, it's been hard on her because her brother has died. So, okay, she's a redhead. She's a redheaded girl whose brother has died. And she says because of a tragic car accident. We soon meet the other roommate, the roommate of Chad's, who is a curly-haired guy. This is Jack Quaid. He's the killer he's one of the killers from Part 5. Hopefully you've seen Part 5 if you're watching the spoiler part of Part 6. So he's got curly hair, dark, and kind of a bit of a reddishness in part 5. So when they when they introduced this actress right here, I'm like, this would be the perfect sibling for Richie. And then they introduced this actor right here. And I'm like, oh my God, they would be the perfect siblings for Richie. And then there's a super intense cop played by Dermot Mulroney, who is the the dad right here. So yes, is it easy to figure out who the killers are? Oh my God, yes. They do try to throw you for a loop when we see the we see her with Ghostface in the room, and then she gets killed, but we don't see her getting killed. This is a it's a whole and then there were none type of thing. The dad comes out afterwards. He's super upset. He saw his little girl die. He said he's been taken off the case, but he's going to make sure that somebody pays for this, that somebody dies. And the second that he said that, it was everything cinched for me. They were killing. They were a family. They were Richie's family. We were going back to family motive right here. So that it was really obvious. What wasn't so obvious, and what we weren't sure about this time, is because Dewey had been killed in the last film. All bets were off. Anybody could die in this film, and I have to say, much in the way that I felt about the original Scream trilogy group of characters, I now feel about these characters. They call themselves the Core Four. I did not want either one of these characters to die, and when one of them, Chad, does almost die, I kind of knew that they were going to do Dewey. At least I really hoped they were. See, this was well done, and you can tell it succeeded when we get to the portion of the film where you don't want these characters to die. These aren't disposable characters that you don't care about. They have done what the Scream franchise had wanted to do, in that we can keep, slowly move away from the legacy characters, have them show up every once in a while, but have a core group that you care about in the same way that you cared about the legacy characters. And that's what Scream 6 does. It brings you back to the original, it brings you back to the original, like, caring of the characters. One of the complaints about Scream 4, and I really did like Scream 4, one of the main complaints about Scream 4 was that you didn't care enough about the characters much in the way that you cared about Sidney or Gail or Dewey or Randy, who does part two. Hayden Panettiere was the standout of the new characters. They didn't get into Emma Roberts' character as much as I did. I really liked Emma Roberts' character, and I really would have been excited to see where they went with that franchise, but it was not to be. But Scream, the new Scream, Scream 5, or whatever you want to call it, Scream 2022, brought on really likable characters. People were interested in seeing how the follow up went. They added on to this. We bring in Josh Segarra. He who could have easily been a bad guy, because Josh Segarra is really good at playing bad guy characters, but he has an intensity that I really like, and I really hope that he follows through into the next film. I know that with some of these Scream franchises, films in the franchise, like except like later on, like retroactively, Sidney, is with the guy from Part 3. I'm hoping we get to see more of Josh Segarra. I'm not convinced he's not totally bad yet. Although the family killers were they were taken care of, and they're taken care of bloodily. This is one of the most bloody films in this entire franchise. By the way, this is a Scream 4 knife, just in case you're wondering which one this comes from. This is one I bought from a while back when Scream 4 came out. And the unfortunately the blood has got it used to be like dried up a bit. So anyway, but it's still fantastic. I can still get here and do my thing when it comes to there. For those that see me wearing this sometimes, I wonder, this doesn't look like, well, this isn't hard and it has a full face thing as opposed to some of the Scream things that she do. See, I bought this with this when right after Scream 4 came out. So after Scream 4 came out on Blu-ray, it came out in Canada with this mask, and this is a what I consider a very high quality Scream mask. I actually had a Ghostface, Scream set, and the mask that I wore for that wasn't a full face mask. It had like the front of it, and you put it over like that. And I still have it over there. So, and it's hard as opposed to this more pliable one. This is actually a really great mask. I use it. You guys know I use it in a lot of my videos. Scream is my. I'm gonna say this. I love Halloween. I love Friday the 13th. I love A Nightmare on Elm Street. Scream is the most consistently good franchise, more than all of them. Scream 3 is the lesser, for me, of the Scream films. Some people find Scream 4 to be the lesser of the Scream films. This is a great franchise. With that being said, let's get into the rankings. But before, do I think you should see this? 100%. I mean, you've probably seen it already. Hopefully, you enjoyed it as much as I did. Yes, the killers are telegraphed again. You pretty much know who they are. Hopefully, you got surprised by the second roommate, or I think everybody went in like knowing when you get in there. Dylan McDermott, he's so obviously the killer. They did a bit of a swerve with Hayden Matera, making it look that it like it could be her, but yeah, this was good. Anyway, let's get to the rankings. Did you really think that I wouldn't use a ranking thing to make a Rankin Bass joke? Of course. Of course I am. So here we are. We are not just doing all the six Scream movies, we're doing the three seasons of the TV show. And yes, take the Halloween special as its own thing. Although some people like to lump the Halloween special into season two of Scream, the MTV series, it's its own deal, man. So it is getting its own ranking here. And let's dive right into this. So come on, guys, because it is definitely a Scream, baby. And the way that I've decided to do this is with my favorite snack foods for going, for watching a movie, and or going to a theater. So Jiffy Pop, it's the classic. It's the making of it and the eating of it as well. I love my Jiffy Pop. I love it better than microwave popcorn. Next up is cheesy nachos, because who doesn't like some cheesy nachos? Some nachos with some salsa and queso on it. I know I do love it. That's one thing from Canada that I truly miss. We have chips here. It's the next big one for me. Specifically, ketchup Lay's. Love my ketchup Lay's. Next, there's Twizzlers. It's a good candy overall. It's something that you can eat, but it's not your go-to candy for a film. And then there's the unsalted cold popcorn. Who wants to be having that? So here we go. Will anything fit into the unsalted cold popcorn? Will anything get into Twizzler category? Which and how many of these can actually reach Jiffy Pop status? Let's find out right now as we rank every single Scream film, including the TV series and the Halloween special. And because I don't want to go right into the films, let us do the TV series, season one, which is right here, because this here is Bella Thorne, who was the first victim in the first season of Scream, the TV series. And at this point, we are going to put this in chips because I really did like this. And we'll come back to the other seasons in a minute, because next we're going to do the original Scream. And I think nobody would be surprised to see this hitting Jiffy Pop detail. This is the tops of the entire franchise. Now let's go into Scream, MTV Scream season two. And as much as I like season one, I really did enjoy season two as well. What I didn't like about season two was the fact that it took so long to get to them knowing that there was a killer around. In the first season of Scream, there was an urgency to it. You felt that there was danger. In this one, you really, really don't. So you're going to the Twizzler category for right now. We're going to go to Scream 2, which is one of my favorite sequels. I just love the way this one's done. I did not like Mrs. Loomis. I know I'm pretty alone on that, but it just I actually like Timothy Olyphant's killer a bit better. He just suits it. But the more I see of it, the more I kind of fall in love with Mrs. Loomis' character. So I went from not liking her to really liking what she does with the film. That being said, it is still it's going to go there in cheesy nachos, but I'm not sure if it's going to stay in cheesy nachos. Scream 3, you are going down there into Twizzler categories, and I am going to rank them in order. So don't think I'm going to cop out and not say which one goes in first, second, third, right up to 10th place. I will be doing that. Let's dive into the Halloween special, which is it's kind of a throwback to the Noche Last Summer, or actually more, I still Noche Last Summer type thing. And I did enjoy that. I don't think it's unsalted, but it is not as good as the other ones. When it comes to the Scream season 3, because we're going to do that one right now, I am actually going to put this one right here, and I'll explain it in a little bit. Now let's get to the other stuff. Let's get to well, this is Scream 3. This is not Scream 2 at all. Scream 2 is right here, as it should be, and Scream 3 is right here, as it should be. I got them all mixed up. Scream 4. Scream 4 is a personal favorite of mine. Does it hit Jiffy Pop? Though I'm not big on Kieran Culkin in this film. I do think that Emma Roberts kills it as a character of Jill. So for now, you're going to hit cheesy nacho status. When it comes to Scream 5, I really, really enjoy that film. Do we put it into Jiffy Pop or do we put it into cheesy nacho? I mean, there's arguments to be made because this really does what the Scream franchise really wanted to do, was make it into a make characters that are likable again, make ones that you wanted to see. So number 5 and number 6 are definitely going up into Jiffy Pop status, but we're not going to leave it right there because we need to rank them as they are. Does Scream, the Halloween special, is that the worst of the Scream franchise? No. Is Scream the first season the worst of the second season worst of the Scream franchise? Maybe actually. But I'm going to make a big shocking thing, and I'm going to put the Scream third season right between the first season of Scream and the Halloween special. As it comes to it right here, am I going to actually put Scream 3 before the second season of the MTV series? No, of course not. That is going to change. So Scream 3 is going to be exactly where it is. Now Scream 4 is going to be, I'm going to be controversial here, and I'm going to put it above Scream 2. I love Scream 2, but there's just something about Hayden Panettara's character. There's something about Emma Roberts that I really, really enjoy. Now we're up back to the final 3 films here. We know Scream is going to be in the top category. We know it is. So now we reach to 2 and 3. This is where it gets interesting. Did I enjoy Jack Wade's character as the killer more than I did the characters of the killers in Scream 6? Yes, I did actually. So the ranking on this from 10 to 1 is Scream, the MTV series season 2, Scream, the MTV series season 3, Scream, Halloween special, Scream season 1, Scream 3, Scream 2, Scream 4, and our top 3 is Scream 6 in number 3 spot, Scream 2022 or Scream 5 in our number 2 spot, and Scream in the obvious, nobody surprised at all, number 1 spot. So what was your ranking when it came to the Scream franchise? I thought it was really fun to do this. And hopefully, maybe if you agree or disagree, let me know in the comment section down below and give me your ranking for all the Scream ones. Challenge yourself to use the MTV series as well. Make the Halloween special its own thing like I did. And I will see you here in a second. So there we go. Scream, the movie review without spoilers. Yes, I really enjoyed it for Scream 6. Scream movie review with spoilers. A ranking of all 10, because yes, the Scream franchise does have 10. It has 6 films, 3 TV seasons, and a Halloween special. Now, with all of that being said, see, I think I got to go make a phone call. Stay for the after credit sequence. I want to thank you. One thing, when you do pick up this here one, just make sure that if you do pick it up, you get the one that has the bonus documentaries. There's two, Still Screaming and Scream, the inside story. I also want to give a personal shout out to all my patrons out there, and I want to do that right now. So here you go, guys. I want to give a shout out to Joshua, to Michael, to Pogo, to Swift, to Jacob, to Craig, to Ian, Ryan, Oxtub, Dan Gonzalez, Thirsty Fly, Saint Arcadia, Chad, John, Twisted Cinema, Cam, Nathan, Zombies Ate My Arm, Antoine, Terry East, to Ralph, to Eric, to Sofa, to Michael, to Maddie, to Timothy, to Scott, Emily, Chris, to Scott P, and Scott Mick. We'll do it like that. Doug D, Coach Odyssey, Dustin Lewis, Samuel, Dr. Mark, Mad, Just the Discs, and Ryan LeBert. Or hopefully I got your name right there. But you guys keep everything going on this channel and make these videos possible. So thank you very much, and I will see you soon right here in the Cult Cinema.